one person that watches all my videos. Can you guess what we're doing today? Yeah, it's a new engine, but can you guess what we're putting it in? Well, maybe you already guessed it, but yeah, this engine's going in the T190, and I know what you're thinking. By the looks of the T190, this engine's going to be the most valuable part of the machine when I'm done, and I'm not necessarily going to disagree with you. Bobcat remanufactured engine. I use a lot of different manufacturers, I guess, for remanufactured engines, and Bobcat for the last couple years has really been the way to go. So if you have an engine that's not rebuildable, because I do rebuild these a lot, however, this one dropped a valve on number 3, put a hole in the piston, scored the wall real bad on the cylinders. It's going to be more to rebuild this one than it was to just buy the reman engine. But give your local Bobcat dealer a chance. Just quote out this engine from Bobcat. It's the most complete, best value for your money, I honestly believe, if you're doing a reman engine for your Bobcat. With that being said, all we got to do is really swap over our accessories, our exhaust manifold, and that's pretty much it. It is ready to slide in, so let's jump right on it and get all this stuff slid over so we can get this engine in. And it really doesn't take but just a few minutes to swap all these accessories over. Right now I'm just going to do the alternator, the water pump pulley, and the alternator belt and get it adjusted. Then all I've got to do is the water temperature sensor, the oil pressure sensor, and the exhaust pipe coming off the turbo itself. And that's really all the accessories that we've got to swap over. So it didn't take but about 15-20 minutes here to get this thing ready to slide right in. Before I install the engine, these are the rear pump mount bolts, and there's 4 of them. And you're trying to reach around that engine. This is the hardest part of the whole install and removal process, is getting these 4 bolts out. So what we want to do is tap with a 12 by 1.25 tap. I know, impact with a tap. I know y'all are freaking out. But I like to clean out all these holes. We want these bolts to just easily thread in, just like that. No resistance, we're not fighting it. Just another quick tip before we install this engine, but all right, now we're gonna get it rigged up and put in. So I've got my engine rigged with an overhead crane. That's how I like to slide them in. You can do this on a shop floor with an engine hoist, no problem. The engine hoist is kind of tight. It doesn't really slide in between the frame and the engine very well, but with the overhead crane, you know, we can just use the slack of the straps to kind of push it in underneath. And so I kind of wiggled it in. I got it lined up at the bell housing right here, and what I'm doing is I'm just putting the bolts in the bell housing into the engine, and once you kind of snug those up, it kind of pulls the engine into place and kind of aligns it up for the rest of the assembly. Now I'm reaching around the back here trying to get the inside motor mount bolts. That's what I was talking about, that they were hard to get, and I was having a little trouble with those. So I just came to the back of the engine and we started putting this mount on right here. And I had to call in reinforcements to help hold the pry bar to line up that inside motor mount bracket. That's the hardest part of this whole process, whether you're removing the engine or putting it in, is those 4 bolts in that front motor mount is just the most pain in the butt thing to do it through the whole process. So finally got those put in. Now we're putting on the flywheel assembly and getting it bolted down, and then we're putting the belt and the tensioner on right here and getting it assembled. Now we're just throwing in the wiring harness right here, getting all the wires and stuff hooked up. Got the starter going in now, and hooking up the cables and the grounds there. Finishing up a little wiring. Now looks like we're going to the front accessories, kind of the oil fill tube and the fuel shutoff solenoid and all, just getting that hooked up and ready to go. Now we're working on the fuel filter assembly and getting it bolted up. We're going to put all new 1/4-inch fuel lines on this as well, just get rid of them old lines. So getting close. Got the battery installed now. We're working on the battery cables.
putting in all new bolts and cleaning the terminals and making sure that everything's 100% with the battery. So yeah, it just looks like we're finishing up the fuel lines here. And now that we got all the fuel lines hooked up, we're just priming the fuel system. We opened the jet valve on the injection pump just to push any of that air all the way through. And now I'm just finishing up the upper radiator hoses and getting ready to add engine oil in it right now. So 2 gallons of engine oil in this engine, and we're using PG, polypropylene glycol coolant in this one. And you know, it's the purple Bobcat brand. You just have to pay attention what brand or what coolant actually goes in your machine. So, and then right here, we're going ahead and going to change out the air filter so that it's 100% serviced and ready to go. The wind starts picking up pretty bad, so I'm going to go ahead and stop filming right here, and I'll be right back with you.
Well, a storm started to roll in, so I had to stop filming for a minute and get all my tools and everything cleaned up, get the tent put up. But I think I've got it ready to go. We've got it topped off with antifreeze, oil, all the electrical's done, so I think we're ready to fire it off. And I didn't want you to miss the best part, so I've already primed the fuel system. It's got fuel, oil, coolant. Let's see if she'll fire off. The thing about Bobcat reman engines is they're run at the factory. They're broke in and ready to run. Contact. Oh yeah, instantly fired off. Love it. Man. Just checking now for any coolant leaks, engine oil leaks, anything weird noises. Sounds great. Good black smoke as the turbo spoils up. I don't mind that. It's got a good whistle to it too. Sounds awesome. Runs great. Well, I'm going to finish putting this thing back together and do a few more checks and send it on down the road. If you have any questions on doing an engine swap, please let me know. And again, give your Bobcat dealer a chance on these reman engines. These are the best you can get. I honestly believe that. I've probably done, I don't know, 15, 20 engines in the last couple years, buying, you know, new or reman engines, not including the ones I build. And by far the Bobcat engines are the best. So give them a shot on your next engine. Thanks for watching.